Love speaks to me through forgiveness. I was 12 years old in seventh grade by my mother's ex-boyfriend. Yes. He stayed in the house until I was in 12th grade. So again, that happened in seventh grade, and then he kind of left and they split up when I was in 12th grade. I kind of felt like Maya Angelou's book, Why the Caged Bird Doesn't Sing. I felt trapped. I felt like I didn't have an outlet. I didn't have anyone that I could go to because, like I said, my mother wanted to keep things under wraps. She didn't want any of my family members really to know. So no one in my family except for two of my aunts knew up until this day. My brother just found out like 4 months ago. My dad found out my senior year of college. So it just made me feel like I just didn't have an outlet, which, transpired to me having thoughts of suicide during my freshman year of college because I just didn't know how to get rid of that pain that I was feeling. I developed a strong hatred towards my mother because I felt that she chose her boyfriend over her child, and that made me resent her a lot, and made me feel like I couldn't trust her anymore. So me and my mother's relationship was strained up until maybe, I would say, my senior year of college. That's when we started working on getting our relationship back repaired. I think that persists heavily in the Black community because we're so tight-knit of keeping our business in-house. Even when like a man was cheating on the wife, everything was kept inside the house and not revealed what's going on. So I think it has, affected the Black community tremendously. My neighbor across the street, the same thing happened in their family when I was growing up, and it was very hush-mouth. And then from my experience, it was very hush-mouth. Even to this day, my mother doesn't, whether it's regret, whether it's denial, I don't know exactly what is the root of it for Black families, that they decide that they would rather keep it under the rug and not discuss it. But it definitely is a huge problem, which is why I've made the vow to myself that, I will going above and beyond to make sure my son is very secure, because it can not only just happen to women, it can happen to young males as well, which my neighbor across the street, it was a male that it happened to him from a family member. So just protecting my son, and if in the event, I pray that never happens, but I will go above and beyond to make sure that, I do what's right to make sure that person is prosecuted. Psychologically, it really kind of mentally drained me. I never really dealt with the mental effects of it up until my freshman year of college, because before that, I was told to just kind of much brush it under the rug. So I never really got to have that experience of dealing with that problem and properly healing from it until I was able to get older and away from the situation. I honestly feel like it kind of triggered me to entertain a lot of men that I knew were no good for me. And I feel like now that I've gotten older, it was because I have been hurt by someone I trusted and I loved, and it made me not want to be with people that I knew were not going to benefit me in that way, that I knew I couldn't get close to and have that relationship with them, or that I knew I wouldn't never love. So it made it easier for me to be with them in that way, because I knew that, okay, I don't love this person, so there's nothing that they could do to hurt me, compared to me being with somebody who I love and being in that way sexually with them and then they hurt me. I think that's, would have did more damage for me mentally compared to just someone I felt no connection with. You have to be honest, and that comes with living in your truth, accepting everything that has happened to you, whether good or bad, not blaming yourself, and understanding the mental traumas that you went through, and even me to this day, I'm 26 years old, and it's taken me from being that 12-year-old little girl to finally, accepting in college my freshman year what I went through, forgiving the man that did that to me in my freshman year. That was a long time period. And then forgiving my mother my senior year of college, and us finally gaining back our relationship. And then now to this day, at 26 years old, recognizing how I deal with problems is based on my experience. I don't deal with problems by solving them outright. I sometimes brush them under the rug, and then things explode, and then everything comes out. And so I just feel like you have to recognize those mental traumas that you've gone through and work to just, move over that mountain that, maybe hindering you. So it's definitely a work in progress, but you can heal for sure. My forgiveness process, like I said, was my freshman year of college. I was just going through so many emotions, one being a freshman, being in a different environment. And I think being in Tallahassee made me really focus on those elements of what happened to me that I never did before, because I didn't have that space to actually think about it. I just was still living with my mother, him being there, so it was like pushed under the rug. But now that I was in a new space where I didn't have anything but time and books to think about these traumas, it really pushed me kind of over the edge. And then that's when I had the suicidal thoughts. But thankfully, I had friends in college that, were there for me, very supportive. So I think having that supportive background can change and make a very big difference when it comes to forgiveness. And then also having a spiritual faith also helps in that process, because I recognized as a freshman at I think I was maybe 18, that he was still living his life. He was still doing whatever he wanted to do, being happy. And I was the only one who was sad. I was hurt, depressed, disappointed, feeling abandoned, all of those different negative feelings. And I didn't want to live like that anymore. So I knew in order for me to move forward, I had to let go. And letting go was forgiving. So in that process of forgiving, I sent him a long text message, basically telling him, I know what you did to me when I was 12 years old. I forgive you for this. And he never responded back, but it was just the fact of me getting that off my chest was all that I needed to be able to move forward. And so I think that helped me progress a lot more than just sheltering it inside. I hope to share love or spread love with other women or men who have experienced this, just giving them that outlet that everything may not seem like it's going to be okay in the beginning. You may have these suicidal thoughts, you may be depressed, but there is going to be a light at the end of the tunnel, and I'm living proof to that. Whatever love that I can shower for them is what I'm willing to give, because I know how it feels to be in that space. And I know how it feels to not feel like you have anyone, even though you may have best friends, but they can't relate because nothing like this has happened to them. So being able to be that person for that whomever may be going or experiencing those same traumas is how I feel to spread love and to give love. As well, like I said to my son, he is my why now, and making sure that, those generational curses do not ever come to him.